With these can-do videos, you'll see real-life situations where you have to introduce yourself, talk about your family, or give your contact information. So, by the end, you can do them yourself in French. This video is a small portion of our can-do course. To get the full course, including translations, grammar tools, and assessment tests, click the link in the description. Welcome to Can Do French by FrenchPod101.com.
Bonjour à tous, je suis Lia Mercier. Hi everyone, I'm Lia Mercier. In this lesson, you'll learn how to tell someone where you are from in French.
This is Mark Lee, and he's on a plane to France. Hugues Henry, a passenger sitting next to him, asks, "Where are you from?"
D'où venez-vous?
Listen to the conversation and focus on Mark's response. Note, the speakers in this conversation use formal French. Ready?
D'où venez-vous? Je viens de New York.
Once more with the English translation.
D'où venez-vous?
Where are you from?
Je viens de New York.
I'm from New York. Wondering how you can master these conversations even faster? Here's how. 1. Read along. You get the lesson conversation and translations inside our dialogue tool so that you see each word as you hear it and understand it all. 2. Practice speaking. By shadowing what you hear, you can also record and compare yourself with native speakers with our voice recording tools. And 3. Take our assessment tests and see how much you remember. These tools are part of our Can Do course. Just click the link in the description to get them.
Let's take a closer look at the conversation.
Do you remember how Hugues Henry asks, "Where are you from?"
D'où venez-vous?
First is
D'où?
from where.
D'où?
This starts with
De.
which translates as from in this context.
De. De.
Next is
Où?
meaning where.
Où? Où? De.
Is contracted with
Où?
to form.
D'où?
Next is
Venez.
come, as in you come.
Venez. Venez. Venez.
Is from the verb
Venir.
meaning to come.
Venir.
After this is
Vous.
which is literally the plural form of you, as in you all. But it's also the formal way to address a single person, as is the case here.
Vous. Vous.
Together
Venez-vous?
translates as you come.
Venez-vous?
Altogether
D'où venez-vous?
literally means from where come you, but it translates as where are you from?
D'où venez-vous?
Remember this question. You'll hear it again later in this lesson.
Now, let's take a closer look at the response.
Do you remember how Mark Lee says, "I'm from New York"?
Je viens de New York.
First is
Je.
I.
Je.
Next is
Viens.
meaning come, as in I come.
Viens. Viens. Viens.
Is from the verb
Venir.
meaning to come.
Venir.
After this is
De.
which means from in this context.
De.
Last is the city,
New York.
New York.
New York. New York.
Altogether it's
Je viens de New York.
This literally means I come from New York, but can translate as I'm from New York.
Je viens de New York.
The pattern is,
Je viens de city name.
I'm from city name.
Je viens de city name.
To use this pattern, simply replace the city name placeholder with the name of your hometown. Imagine you're from Sydney.
Sydney. Sydney. Sydney.
Say, I'm from Sydney. Ready?
Je viens de Sydney.
I'm from Sydney.
Je viens de Sydney. When talking about where you're from, de is used before feminine nouns. All cities are feminine in French, so when talking about your hometown or home city, use de. You can also use this pattern with countries. However, countries can be either masculine or feminine. If you use this pattern with a country name that's masculine, use du instead of de. For example, je viens de France. France, France, is feminine. Je viens du Japon. Japon, Japan, is masculine.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat, or speak along with the native speakers.
Je viens de New York. Je viens de New York.
Je viens de Nantes. Je viens de Nantes.
Je viens de Seattle. Je viens de Seattle.
Je viens de Londres. Je viens de Londres.
Je viens de Paris. Je viens de Paris.
Je suis australienne. Je suis australienne.
Did you notice how the last speaker uses a different pattern?
Wondering how you can master these conversations even faster? Here's how. 1. Read along. You get the lesson conversation and translations inside our dialogue tool so that you see each word as you hear it and understand it all. 2. Practice speaking. By shadowing what you hear, you can also record and compare yourself with native speakers with our voice recording tools. And 3. Take our assessment tests and see how much you remember. These tools are part of our Can-Do course. Just click the link in the description to get them. She says,
Je suis australienne.
I'm Australian.
Je suis australienne.
First is
Je,
I.
je.
Next is
Suis,
am, as in I am.
suis, suis, suis.
Is from the verb,
Être,
meaning to be.
être.
Together it's,
Je suis,
meaning I am.
je suis.
After this is,
Australienne,
meaning Australian.
australienne, australienne,
Note,
australienne.
is feminine. This pattern is,
Je suis nationality.
I'm nationality.
Je suis nationality.
In Mia Martin's case, she uses the feminine adjective
Australienne.
to describe herself.
Je suis australienne.
In the case of a male speaker from Australia, he would use a masculine adjective
Australien.
to describe himself.
Je suis australien.
I'm Australian.
Je suis australien.
You should be aware of this pattern, but for this lesson, we'll use the pattern
Je viens de. City name.
I'm from city name.
Je viens de. City name.
Let's review the key vocabulary.
Nantes.
Nantes,
Nantes. Nantes. Seattle.
Seattle,
Seattle. Seattle. Londres.
London,
Londres. Londres. Paris.
Paris,
Paris. Paris. Let's review. Respond to the prompts by speaking aloud. Then repeat after me, focusing on pronunciation. Ready? Do you remember how to say New York? New York. New York. And how to say from New York? De New York. De New York. Do you remember how to say I? Je. Je. Do you remember how Mark Lee says I'm from New York?
Je viens de New York.
Je viens de New York. Do you remember the formal way to say you? Vous. Vous. And how to say from where? D'où. D'où. Do you remember how Hugues Henry asks, where are you from?
D'où venez-vous?
D'où venez-vous? Do you remember how to say London? Londres. Londres. Do you remember how to say Seattle? Seattle. Seattle. Do you remember how to say Paris? Paris. Paris.
Let's practice. Imagine you're Jack Jones from London. Respond to Hugues Henry's question. Ready?
D'où venez-vous?
Je viens de Londres.
Listen again and repeat.
Je viens de Londres. Je viens de Londres.
Let's try another. Imagine you're Emma Auge from Seattle. Ready?
D'où venez-vous?
Je viens de Seattle.
Listen again and repeat.
Je viens de Seattle. Je viens de Seattle.
Let's try one more. Imagine you're Liam Mercier from Paris. Ready?
D'où venez-vous?
Je viens de Paris.
Listen again and repeat.
Je viens de Paris. Je viens de Paris. This is the end of this lesson.
Now, here's what you can do to cement this conversation in your head. Review the conversation with our dialogue tool and lesson transcripts. Study the key words and phrases with our spaced repetition flashcards. Review the key grammar and cultural tips inside the lesson notes. And test yourself with our assessment tests. So click the link in the description right now and sign up for your free lifetime account to access our Can-Do course.
Well done! Now you know how to tell where you are from in French. That's all there is to it. Keep practicing and move on to the next lesson.